Holy Ghost, Batman, by a mile run. So, before I really start with the next chapter, just to inform you, the 15th chapter was just fan arts, so there's nothing really to read. So we will jump right into the chapter 16 at the table. Wayne Manor, early evening, just before dinner. The black town car eased through the front gates of Wayne Manor as twilight bathed the estate in hues of gold and indigo. Then he sat in the back seat with Danny curled beside him, her hands fidgeting in the pockets of Danny's borrowed jacket. Sam and Jazz sat in the middle row, both dressed tastefully but distinctly, Sam in a sleek black dress that stopped just short of rebellious, Jazz in soft lavender with a matching clutch. Neither wanted to risk wrinkling their dresses to climb in the back with the ghostly duo. Stephanie rode in front with the driver, who was not Alfred this time, but one of the regular staff, twisting a silver ring on her finger, while watching the manor grow closer through the window. She wished Tim had been the one to pick them up. He should have been the one to bring his son and granddaughter home, but Bruce had been grilling him for details all morning, then fell into an existential stupor, according to Cass and Selena. Tim, she knew, then had much less time to organize a last-minute Bat family gathering, and his OCD overrode his common sense sometimes. She and Selena hadn't helped by including Palm and Harley last second. She only felt bad about that now, in hindsight. Danny glanced at her reflection. She'd been quiet since Tim's text. Quiet in a way that meant she was thinking too much. In his experience, which, coming from his birth mom, was eerily familiar, he hoped she wasn't feeling regret now. He looked down at Danny and gave her a quick nudge. "You good?" Danny nodded, quickly, then added, "I think so. Do I call him Grandpa Tim? Is his dad great-grandpa Bruce? Or is that pushing it?" Sam leaned back. "If he blinks twice, don't repeat it." The car came to a gentle stop beneath the arching stone awning. The door opened to the waiting form of Alfred Pennyworth, standing tall in his immaculate suit, the perfect image of restraint and warmth. "Master Daniel," he greeted, offering a rare smile. "Miss Stephanie, Miss Danny, Miss Manson, welcome." Jazz stepped out and gave Alfred a quick hug, which he returned with dignity of someone who'd long stopped being surprised by the Fenton woman's brand of affection after too many family reunions with Mistress Martha and Maddie Fenton's material line, a trait he almost wished the Kane girls had inherited. "Good evening to you as well, Miss Fenton. You're just in time," he added, gesturing towards the broad front doors. "Everyone else is already assembled. If you will follow me to the sitting room, I will see that dinner is ready promptly." As they crossed the gleaming marble floors, Danny whispered, "Are we already calling this a sitting room? This place has already more square footage than the Casper High gym." "You will get used to it," Jazz whispered back. "Maybe." Then Alfred opened the double doors to the Manor's east parlor. The conversation inside didn't stop, it only shifted. Bruce Wayne stood near the fireplace, an untouched glass of wine in hand, commanding the room even in stillness. Around him were his sons, Dick, all charm and ease, balancing a drink and a joke, Damien sulking in formal wear, Duke, leaning against the far wall with quiet confidence, and Jason, relaxed but alert, in a button-down that tried very hard not to look new. Tim stood near Bruce, back straight, tie slightly loosened, but the look on his face made Danny pause. There was something behind his eyes, fierce, bright, protective, something Danny didn't quite recognize until he realized it was pride. Conversations ebbed. Stephanie walked in first, then Chaz and Sam followed, stepping aside from the family moment to come. Danny followed, with Danny gripping his hands like a lifeline. Tim stepped forward, standing with Steph behind Danny, and raised his voice, not loud, but clear. "Everyone?" the group's attention turned. Steph stepped beside him as Tim put a hand on Danny's shoulder, then gently tapped Danny's back, nudging her forward from behind her father. "This," Tim said, "is our son. His name is Danny." He took a breath. "And this is his daughter, Danny." Danny's heart stuttered in his chest. It was still so raw to have her introduced like that. He almost didn't register Tim claiming him. Danny, for her part, shuffled in his grip, nervous. In any other circumstance she might have yelled out, "Danny with an I," to lighten the mood, retreating from tension with humor just like Danny. But she was much better at reading the room than he was, and didn't think it was appropriate this time. The silence was thick, full of the weight of unspoken thoughts, measured reactions, and old wounds quietly shifting. Dick was the first to move. He crossed the room with the familiar ease of a man who'd grown up, smoothing over tension, and hugged Danny tightly. "Welcome to the madness, nephew." Then he bent and offered Danny a high five, which she returned with wide eyes. Eldest, having taken the first step, Duke, as the second most outgoing, followed next, offering a handshake to Danny before nodding at Danny playfully. "She looks like trouble." Tension broke. Danny grinned. "I get that a lot." Damien didn't speak, but gave Danny a nod. That might have been approval, or at least curiosity. Jason naturally was last. He gave Tim a look, something sardonic and understanding all at once, and clapped Danny on the back. "Hope you brought an appetite, kid." Then he ruffled Danny's hair with a wink. She squawked, scandalized because Steph and Jazz had brushed it out for her before they left. Danny exhaled for what felt like the first time in minutes. Stephanie stood just behind him, her hands folded, watching her son be accepted into the center of a world she still barely understood. And then Bruce stepped forward, the boys moving aside. He said nothing at first, just looked at Danny, then at Danny, who was still petting down her hair, then back at Tim, then Steph. Finally, he nodded once. "Welcome to the family," he said simply. And this time Stephanie felt like the gulf between them when she refused adoption, but stayed anyway, was much shorter now. Danny let out a relieved breath. Alfred reappeared a moment later, giving a small bow. "Dinner is served." And with that, the newly expanded family made their way to the long dining room, where conversation would continue, tension would simmer, and for the first time, Danny Fenton would sit at the Wayne family table. And that was the chapter! If you liked it, leave a like. If you like my videos in general, feel free to subscribe. And if you want notifications, there's a bell. I do Podfic commissions, so if you have a fanfiction you want me to read that is either written by yourself or someone else, please contact me on my Tumblr or my Discord. Infos to that are in my channel description. It would really support me if you would commission something. Other than that, I have started I've started to make a Discord server, for people off this channel. I have let the people that have made commissions in earlier than the rest. If you also want into this Discord server, you can either make a commission with me, or just make sure that you tell your friends about this channel and get this channel to 2,000 subscribers, and then I will release the link so everybody on this channel can join. So basically, there's a voice chat in that server where I will then go into and record my videos, which you could listen to in there. And it's live, so there's it's nothing is cut. There's a bunch of mistakes probably in there, but you could just listen to me read something live. So if you are up to that, you know how to get there. Really need to set myself a reminder that I need to be in that voice chat to record. No. Because I completely forgot this recording. I'm sorry. But I don't know, my time zones are kinda so it's I record very, very randomly around the day, so sometimes it's early for me, sometimes it's late for me. It's like whenever I find the time, actually. Because I know most of my subscribers are not from the same time zone as me. So it's kind of, maybe I could like fix that so that I can record in the afternoon so you guys could also listen, but that's still open for discussion. But that was it for my rambling. Enjoy the rest of your time and see you next time.